Okay, everybody, I want to give you a little bit of a starter on getting your mural set up. A lot of questions still about how to get started. So here we go. I've got Photoshop open. I'm going to go to File and Open. And I'll open up one of the pictures that I took from MHS. And I need to decide which wall I'm going to put my mural on. And of course, I've done some thinking about the location of the mural and what my message is going to be. So once I've picked out which wall I'm going to use, I think I'm going to go with this one here. It's a nice empty blank space there. Okay, now I'm ready to actually start making my mural. The first thing you want to do is take a look at your layer stack. You've only got one layer right now, and that's of course, your original picture. We actually want to make a exact copy of that. So I'm going to press Command J. And that was the shortcut to make a duplicate layer. And you can look and see now I have two versions of my original picture. One's now the background, which is locked, and one's layer 1. I'm going to rename that Filled Color. And that's exactly what I'll do here in just a second. Okay, so on this filled color layer, I'm going to need to find a way to select the wall I want to have painted. And it looks like this wall has fairly straight lines, and there's nothing really rounded or complicated in the wall or in the way. So the best tool to use will probably be the Polygonal Lasso. And you can get that by right-clicking on your lasso. There it is. And I'm going to click and drag, and I released my click, and I'll click in another location. You can see it kind of just stretches this straight line between the 2 points that I've clicked. So it's really simple to get like anything that's got like really straight edges. So I'll do that. I'll go all the way around, and now I've got my wall. It's isolated from the rest of the walls and the floor and the ceiling. Okay, now I'm ready to paint it. So now I'm going to go up to Edit and Fill. Okay, so I've got this little dialog box and I have some choices to make. The first one is decide what color I'm going to use, and you can always change this. As long as you have this area selected, you can undo it and redo it a different color. So I'm going to click here, and they have some choices: black, 50% gray, white, or up here at the top I can just use what's in my foreground, which is again this down here, right, in my top box, my background color, which is the box below, or if I just select color, it lets me pick any color. So anything in the spectrum here. Maybe I'll go with like a really dark blue-green. That looks kind of neat. Maybe a little lighter. Okay, so I'll click OK. And then I'm going to want to do one other thing. You can see in my picture there's a little bit of detail from the bricks. I want to keep that because if it covers it up completely, my wall is going to look really fake. So I'm going to change this blending mode here from normal to overlay. And I'll click OK. And yeah, you can see it's got some of the details of the bricks, and now I've painted my wall effectively. Okay, so, and I can see that over here in my layer stack, of course, too. It's only filled that top layer. I'm going to go ahead and leave the selection going here because that'll be handy even as I'm using my brushes. So let's say, yeah, you're not wild about that color. You're going to need to press Command Z to undo it. Don't just go up to Edit and Fill again. If you don't undo that color, it'll just put a new color right over top of it, and it won't look very good. Your overlay will start to become ineffective, and your colors will blend together. It won't look the way you intend. So if you wanted to pick a different color, we'll choose color again. Let's say maybe I wanted something just a little darker this time. And I'm still on overlay, okay. Alright, so it's kind of more like a teal now. Okay, so next thing. The requirements say that I have to use at least 2 custom brushes in my mural. So I would suggest we go ahead and add a couple more layers here. We can do that with this tiny little icon down here in your layer stack. Looks like a blue square with the folder, the corner folded up. So I press that. That gives me a new transparent layer. And I'll go ahead and I'll rename that brush 1. Okay. So that layer is active. Then I'll just need to go to my brush tool and actually pick which of my custom brushes I want to use in my mural. And I have a few here. Let's see, maybe I'll use this bird. It's kind of cool. Okay. And then of course, whatever color I have loaded up in my palette will be the color of the bird. So maybe I'll make them yellow. So now I'm getting my birds. Okay, and this can be kind of boring here. So if you wanted to use your brushes palette, you can of course use that. Remember, that's what we used to make our desktop image. I went to Window and Brushes, and then I got all these things that I can turn off and on, the shape dynamics, the scattering, and then when I paint with my birds, I get a little bit more interesting result. I'm not sure if I like that though. So if you do find that you don't like that, these are on a separate layer from your color, so you could just use your eraser then and get rid of them if you don't like them, and it won't affect your color. And that'll become increasingly important as you get into your other brushes. Make sure those are on a different layer as well, so that you can erase those, alter them any way you need to. Okay, so let's say, go back to my brush here. Maybe I just want to do like an overall color. I'll pick, so it kind of looks like it has a little bit more texture to it. Make this a little bigger. And I need to turn on my brushes palette. And let's see, my scatter. Make it scatter a little bit more. Here we go. Okay. Now notice all these crazy ways I'm moving my mouse. The paint is only going onto the part of the wall that I have selected. It's not going off onto the ceiling or the other walls or on the floor. And that's because I have that area still selected. Nothing will go off of it. So that's why I want to leave that selection on. Okay, and one thing I notice about this brush especially is it's covering up my bricks a lot. So it's making it look kind of fake now. So if that happens, what you can do is you can adjust the opacity of the layer. The opacity is over here, and it's a little slider. You can click and drag it downward. You can see it loses some of its punch, its quality, its really brightness, but now I can see a little bit of the detail of my bricks through it. And I want to make sure that I do still see my bricks no matter what. Okay. Then next, I'm going to add one more layer. I'll add another brush. Okay, back to my brush here. This time I think I'm going to use, got this fun cheetah here. I think I'll put my cheetah on here. And I'll change the color. Orange cheetah. Okay, now the cheetah is looking alright, but it's looking a little bit like it's kind of jumping out from the wall. He doesn't look like he's flat to the wall. So I'll show you how you can make your, you've got a brush that's kind of long, or if you decide to use a piece of text, how you can make it look like it's really up against the wall. Okay, I will have to deselect my wall, so I'm going to press Command D. My cheetah, again, is the only thing on this layer, so if I press Command T, it zooms in just to my brush. Okay, Then I'm going to use a different transformation other than just scaling or rotating it. I'm going to right click and choose perspective. And once I do that, I can take the far corners, or what will become the point of the cheetah that's farther away, and shrink it down a little bit by dragging downward, and make the edge that's closest to me a little larger looking by dragging that corner upward. So now I've got my cheetah looking like he's kind of up against the wall here. And if it looks a little stretched, we can fix that in a bit. Okay, so I press OK. And if it looks a little stretched now, I'm going to press Command T again, and this time it's just going to be a straight up scale transformation and maybe bring him in just a little smaller. Okay, so now I have my cheetah. It looks like he's up against the wall and he's traveling back in space. Okay, so remember, you have to use 2 custom brushes, have to use a filled selection, and you want to be able to see your bricks no matter what. Think about the location of your mural. Think about what you want people to see. Think about when they see your mural. And that will be a really effective way to catch people's eye, you know. If it seems like it fits the location, that's what we want. Alright, hope this helped. I'll see you guys in a little bit.